Hello, dear students, and welcome back in the journey about the innovation exchange, transfer, and dissemination. At the end of this second presentation, you should know what are, and probably more important, to organize successful cross-visits and demo events as part of the dissemination process of the innovations in the peripheral areas. The tools presented in module number 5 help you to maximize the impact of your work, not only in the peripheral rural areas, but in rural areas in general. And this is after you will already identify the needs from the baseline assessment and solutions from the innovation portfolio. More precisely, in this second part of module number 5, we will discuss about, first of all, how to prepare and conduct a successful cross-visit. And secondly, you will find successful stories and challenges in organizing cross-visits. First of all, before presenting the steps in organizing a cross-visit, you should know that cross-visits are one of the most effective actions in knowledge transfer. That means that a group of end users visit peers that use a project result or a desired innovation. In a cross-visit, peers can learn from each other and share positive experience related to a particular innovation. At the end, participants decide what to do with the new knowledge. They can remain in connection with their peers, and these ones, I mean the peers, can provide answers to other possible questions related to the innovation implementation process. In order to prepare a successful cross-visit, you should know that there are several steps in conducting one cross-visit. The first step is the initiation process. That means that the representatives of the visiting team select and then identify the host areas that best respond to the innovation gaps and needs of the visiting peripheral rural area. The two parties, I mean the visiting and the host team, agree about the innovation that will be presented during the visit, and also about the date of the visit. And finally, they will establish a preliminary timetable and a budget. The visiting team firstly identify the innovation gaps that will be addressed during the visit. To be efficient, the visit should be conducted by a team leader and one or more facilitators. The facilitator agent represents the link between the science and the practice communities. He or she encourages the exchange of information and knowledge between all relevant actors of the visit. The facilitator agent has the responsibility of updating all the actors with the most relevant information for each one, connecting all the actors and facilitating interactive knowledge flow. He will summarize, synthesize, translate, and simplify information in order to convert complex information into useful and accessible knowledge. The team leader and the facilitator decide about the learning formats of delivering knowledge that can be written, presentation of peers, storytelling, etc. The visiting team needs an organizing person that makes rooms and travel bookings, establish dietary requirements, inform participants about travel conditions, and the host of the group about the type of participants and their previous knowledge experiences. As a tip, when you organize a cross-visit, you should know that travel by bus or minibus can help a multi-stakeholder group to better interact and share ideas. This is doable, especially on the short-run travel exchanges. Then, when you prepare the visit, the host team has several requirements. First of all, the host team should appoint a team leader that become the problem solver for logistical problems. It provides appropriate locations for formal and informal learning. The host team should contact and schedule meetings and interviews with targeted local groups and individuals, including raising local awareness about the visit. The host team should provide information about local services like hotels, restaurants, etc. And the host team should decide on the best knowledge learning formats and about recording and reporting. The cross visits presume to organizing a cross visit means to follow 6 steps. The visit should start with a social event and a short introductory session organized by the host team. This could take place after the meal of the first evening, if traveling the night before, or after a cup of tea on the first morning. At a minimum, this session should provide a general picture of the area, its innovation process, if any, talk about local challenges and identify the relevant actors, stakeholders, and the local partnership structure. Common sense should be applied here. For example, in the first morning, if the first morning gives an opportunity to visit a viewpoint over the region, there is no point covering the introduction to the region in detail indoors, particularly if the weather is good. The next step, it's the field visit. There should be a briefing about the area, individual farms, projects, or organization that to be visited, and their roles within the area. And this should take place before arriving at the farm, venue, or the project. Usually it works best for the host leader to start, then the visiting team leader, and then an individual from the hosting area. All should be briefed beforehand about the nature and the interest of the group. Extracting information in a collaborative exercise between the leaders and the facilitators is very important. They need to ensure by promoting and directing questions that that key facts emerge. The host leader should know the facts, and the visiting leader or facilitator should know the knowledge gaps. Both should be concerned to ensure that the group can answer their key questions, but ultimately the responsibility for checking this and taking remedial actions is within the visiting group leader and the facilitators. As a tip, you should remember that in some groups, it works well for different visitators to be given the task of keeping the visit record for each farm or event. In the third step is the reflection step. In this step, the visiting group will come together in the same day, before or after the evening meal, to draw some conclusions and observations made during the field visit. This is organized by the facilitator and can be done by using the observation cards, as the one suggested in the presentation. The visitators make a report of their visit in real time. This can be done circulating the responsibility throughout the group, for instance. The social activities developed during a cross visit are very important and powerful tools to stimulate interaction between visiting and host stakeholders. The social activity should be informal, creative, and very important, as pleasant as possible. A list of items requiring clarification will be drawn up, answering for answering while on the visit. The visiting group leader will ensure that the results are fed into the feedback mechanism during the visit and into a trip report after returning back home. Before organizing a final meeting between the visiting and the host team, the facilitator will assure that the visiting stakeholder identify and discuss, as you can see in this slide, pearls, puzzling, and proposals. Pearls are those issues you find interesting, inspiring, well done. Puzzlings are those issues where you have your doubts, question marks, or critics. And proposals are ideas that might help to improve the current practices that have been observed. Finally, a cross visit should end with a symposium. This is the principal responsibility of the facilitator. The host coordinator should be also present. This event should be as brief and cover the conclusions related to information gaps revealed by the visit. The meeting should give an opportunity to respond and to engage in further exploration and clarification on both sides. The final summing up should be given by at least one member of the visiting delegation, probably by the host leader and possibly by another stakeholder. After the visit, the visiting team, when they will go back home, they should organize a visit dissemination event, focusing on key elements like lesson learned, relevance of the learning activities for the peripheral rural areas, and some representative image for the visit. This event can be a discussion group, a conference, and a press release. The second part of the presentation is devoted to on-farm demonstration. On-farm demonstration are other strong peer-to-peer learning tools. They are valuable tools in teaching of new management practices or technologies. Demonstration allow farmers, educators, and advisors alike to learn how an alternative management option will perform on actual farms at field scale. There are also 6 steps in organizing the on-farm demonstration. The first one is to set the demo objectives and to establish the target groups. That means that for the demo activity should be established clear objectives. Also, you should establish your farming audience in line with your objectives, and you can invite other actors to increase the impact of the demo activity. The second step is to establish the demonstration farm. This is very important because the host farm should be in line with your objectives. You should go for a credible and innovative host farmer. And you should ensure access by good locations and facilities. Then the next step is to establish the demo event. There you should compose a balanced organization team in line with your objectives to provide enough time for interaction and networking. Also, you have to consider trade-off when selecting a suitable time. And if possible, you should think about how to compensate the host farmer. If you want to learn more about this, you should go on our online repository and to see this video about how to increase interaction at farm demo events. The next step is promotion the demo event. And here you should state key messages in line with your objectives. You should go for a clear and appealing invitation and use multiple communication channels. In the fifth step, the fifth step is about learning and facilitation methods. Here, you have to think about how to engage participants in active knowledge exchange. You can use a variety of learning methods. And of course, if you have larger groups, you have to think about how to split them in order to assure proper knowledge transfer. If you want to learn more about the role of facilitation for innovation and change in agriculture, please go on our online repository and see the video that we provided there. So the sixth step in organizing an on-farm demonstration is the evaluation and follow-up. And here, you should use cards like the ones presented here, where you should evaluate your objectives and to organize follow-up activities for both participants and non-participants. And here, in order to evaluate your demo activity, please first of all choose a monitor, then choose monitoring tools in order to collect data on the demo event, and organize team reflection to discuss the lesson learned. And finally, in this second part of our Module 5 presentation, you can learn more about how to organize successful cross-visit by watching the video provided by Brendan Dunford, that's sharing ideas as a host at the cross-visit in high natural value link thematic network. The second video is provided by Magnus Ljung from Sweden, that present his idea about the value of a cross-visit to its host team. Then Gwyn Jones share his reflection about the cross-visit of the UK team to Sweden in the HMV link thematic network. And finally, Ina Herzon from Finland share his idea about the cross visits of the UK team to Sweden. All these videos are available on our online repository. So in order to conclude, after this presentation, you should be able to prepare and conduct a successful cross-visit. And also, you should know successful stories and challenges in organizing cross-visits. I hope this presentation helped you. And if you have any other questions, please use the email that I provided at the beginning of the presentation. See you soon.